Just come together.
I will in fact tell you a story. I'm Richard Best. I'm an independent in the House of Lords, and I'm welcoming you tonight, and I think I will begin with a story about an event here in the Houses of Parliament. We have many of these stories. I'm going to treat you to one tonight. This was the story of George Brown. Anybody old enough to remember George Brown, famous Foreign Secretary, famous drunk? Yes. Dear George, he came to a reception, one of these dues, and music was playing, and across the floor he sees a vision in scarlet. He staggers across to George and says, "May I have the pleasure of this dance?" To which the reply comes, "You may not, for three reasons. First, you are drunk. Second, they're playing the national anthem. And third, I am the Cardinal Archbishop of Westminster." No dancing tonight, anyway. Although you're crossing the boards. Welcome to everybody. You're going to hear something from me. I'm the president of the Sustainable Energy Association, and then we're going to hear from Rebecca Power, MP from Taunton Deane, who's also going to bring a message to us from Claire Perry, the Minister, can't be with us tonight. And then we're going to finish up with Leslie Rudd, our Chief Executive at the SEA. So that's the programme for tonight. It is a serious subject that we're about. It's serious times. I have to quote Sir David Attenborough. You saw him on the telly, vaguely took it in. He said, "Climate change could bring about the collapse of our civilizations and extinction of much of the natural world." It cannot get worse than that. Brexit is nothing compared to those forebodings from Sir David. Carbon emissions have risen by 2.7% this last year. They were meant to be going down. We're heading for global warming of 3 degrees in place of the Paris Conference's agreement of 1.5 degrees by 2050. We are not doing well. We all know this requires international effort. It requires getting China on board. It requires getting the President of the United States on board. But the UK has got to do its bit too, and we're not doing so badly, let's be clear. The UK is, in many respects, showing the way. In our case, CO2 emissions were down 2.6% this year. That's a contrast to the world picture. Government's industrial strategy contains its clean growth grand challenge, a mission to halve energy use by 2030. Now the Sustainable Energy Association is right behind the government in those objectives. We do not believe that house builders, and we're concerned today particularly with buildings, with houses, with homes where people live, we do not expect the house builders to do the job for us spontaneously. The house builders have a tradition of letting us down under all kinds of headings in terms of quantity and quality, design, and so in so many ways, house builders need the little incentives of building regulations to make them behave and do the things that need to be done. And we have the review going on of Part L of the building regulations as we speak. This is the time to close in and get some regulations that tighten up on CO2 emissions in the homes of the future. And the SEA is very much part of that. And we're supporting government in trying to halve energy use by 2030, not least in a new report that's coming out, which is going to spell out the various ways in which government can get there by 2030, halving CO2 emissions, halving energy use by 2030. The one I like, I mean, we all have our favourites, the measure I like is the one for stamp duty. Just like with road tax, with vehicle license fees that vary according to your CO2 emissions, and those of you who have very environmentally friendly cars know you only pay 20 or 30 pounds a year, and the people with the gas guzzlers pay now the biggest of all, £540 annual license fee. Now, if we had those kind of differentials in stamp duty on new homes, this would be a pretty big incentive for the purchasers to notice what kind of energy use their new home might have. So, strong support from the SEA for the government, for members of Parliament who are valiantly campaigning on these measures. Claire Perry herself, the Energy Minister, she cannot be with us, but we're going to hear some words from her. I took a delegation to meet her just recently to talk about MEES, the minimum energy efficiency standards, and we'd gone in to say to her that her idea that landlords with very, very poor performing properties, this is with EPC ratings of F and G, which really means no heating systems at all, they would have to put their properties in order, but up to a maximum amount of expenditure, and the government proposed originally £5,000, but felt a lot of pressure and brought that down to £2,500 for a landlord to spend to get properties up to that basic minimum of E. We told Claire Perry that we thought that she got it right first time, that £5,000 was needed if you were to put in even the most basic central heating, even the most basic insulation all around the property and the rest. And in the end, she agreed a compromise, £3,500, somewhere between the two. Well, we thought honour was satisfied there, and we thanked her accordingly. I'm taking a bill through Parliament. We have our I hope, final stage tomorrow, or is it? No, it's Wednesday. I've got another 48 hours of worrying about this one. It's the Homes Brackets Fitness for Human Habitation Bill. But this will work well with the energy saving measures as well. This has come to us from the House of Commons with government support, and I'm handling it in the House of Lords. So there is activity out there. Sir David Amess has his private member's bill. He's a great champion of energy efficiency, and I think you may have heard him speak last year on this occasion. He's been campaigning away, helped by Ron Bailey. Ron, where are you? Sat here. Ron, our wonderful champion and campaigner. And Ron, even a bus couldn't knock you out. It ran you down the other day. You got your walking stick today, but here you are, still keeping the fight going, and we all bless you for that. Thank you for all your effort, and I know David Amess is very appreciative that you're helping him with his private members bill. This is about getting the EPC ratings up to C by 2035, and he's doing great work on that. Well, also, with a private member's bill, Rebecca Pow, who's the MP for Taunton Deane, as I was saying, Rebecca's bill, the Energy Consumption Innovative Technologies Bill, which I think was helped a little bit on its way by the exhibition laid on by the Sustainable Energy Association earlier this year, where Claire Perry came and opened it, and another stalwart in this field, Alan Whitehead, also spoke. So, Rebecca, it is to you now that I turn. Thank you very much for all that you're doing. Please share with us some thoughts, and I hope some words from the Minister, Claire Perry, as well.